Okay, everybody, I'm gonna show you like kind of where I started. Basically, this was a sticky note, and hopefully the camera will pick this up on this is just my basic idea. I wanted solar panels, maybe a checkbox, maybe a window, a door, skylight on the top, maybe some propane storage. This is actually showing where the battery would be stored as well, like in the back part. But this is kind of like just a very basic sketch. So just start something just super basic, and then you can kind of advance it from there. Now here I have all kinds of different drawings, and I'm just going to be showing them to you. This is one idea I had, with different. I want to have solar panels on the top of mine, and then I'll have like a battery pack in the back. I'll have some type of faucets. There's here it's kind of showing the actual floor and where I would put the insulation, or where I would actually have a storage, and I'm going to actually create storage on the final one. So this isn't a final drawing. This is just a more advanced version of this. Here I actually have the skylight. I actually have some wind guards here, just in case when you're driving I don't want it to rip off the skylight or any of the solar panels. But it has the door, shows the mattress here, the shelf, the interior shelves, possibly propane in the front. I don't think I'm going to be using a huge propane tank. I'm just going to use the smaller ones. But that's just one idea. I'm just going to go through these really quickly. I just have some other real basic designs. I was just trying to play with ideas, and I was using graph paper. You might want to do the same. So it's fairly accurate. And this is kind of showing like more of just like the rounded version, just with the square end, with the folding mattress, and then storage on the very bottom. So you just kind of have to play around with these ideas. This is just a really awful sketch, but just showing the door opening, some bottles, maybe a sink, having some good water and also gray water from the actual faucet with that, like a pump, maybe inside storage, the stove, an extra compartment at the very bottom for small stuff. But these are, I just kept drawing, and here's a cooler. This is looking at the very back of the galley. 2 shelves at the top, possibly having this open so you could actually look inside. And here it'd have a cooler. You'd have your Coleman stove, maybe just some water, a couple of drawers. So what I would just recommend is just start playing with ideas. This is pretty much the same thing. Cutting board, stove, cooler, drawer, and then you have your gray water. I was thinking about maybe having the battery pack on the left hand side for the actual solar panel, so the wiring would come down. This is just another basic idea, just a rounded version on the top, and this is kind of showing where the actual spars would go, so I could actually nail it into, and I would actually have like an interior skin and also an exterior skin as well. So but we'll get into that here later on. Another idea, kind of playing out that same concept. I would have the solar panels, I would have the wind guard, just so it's kind of protecting the solar panels, Coleman stove, Coleman cooler. So it's always really important to figure out exactly what you want in your Teardrop camper, so you know how to actually build your camper like to your need. You might want to have a refrigerator here. You might want to have a different setup instead of a Coleman, but whatever that may be. But here I actually wanted storage on the bottom, so maybe I could store cans. So that would be the mattress. So I'm just playing with the ideas. This is simply just kind of how I was thinking about building the floor. Kind of extending it with the 2x4s, but I'm not really going with that full idea. More of a square version. Our traditional teardrop would actually be rounded on the top and then kind of be rounded on the side, but I wanted mine to be a little bit more angular. So, and that's exactly what I did. Here you go again with the solar panels. You're looking at the side of it, and then with I'm going to have like a big opening here. Basically, it's just going to be hinged, and then I can actually close it. So at night when you're actually sleeping, you could actually be looking directly at the stars, which would be really cool. And then, you know, I'd have storage here. So, I mean, there's all kinds of different ideas that I've been playing with, just trying to figure this out. Same kind of concept. You know, here there was actual table here, so I was thinking actually of continuing this table, which which idea I liked, and then I could just leave this whole back part open. But actually, I'm going to be using a lot of this idea in my actual build, so you could kind of see where it's kind of straight here, more straight here. It'll have like a little storage towards the very front. It'll have, the reason I'm using a 5x8 trailer, because I actually want to fit a full-size queen size, a queen size bed inside. Okay, so that's why I'm building it like I'm building it. Here's another one, more of a straight design, just kind of going around. You know, and I just kind of encourage you just to play around with designs and see what you actually come up with. So now this, I'm going to be using a lot of this design, more of the straight edge, because I like that, but it would be, I'm going to raise it like 4.5 feet to 4.5 feet. So I'm going to raise it like another 6 inches here. So that's kind of what you're looking at in regards to that. But I like the design, I like the angles of it, and then I'll actually be using a lot of this concept as well, but they're all kind of the same kind of basic idea, just played out in a different way. Here's another idea that I was thinking about, that somebody might want to use, you know, and I've kind of seen different designs from other teardrop campers, but where the actual cooler would actually go face in, and then the door would actually open up, and then you would actually have the cooler on the right side. This part of the door would open up. You might have like a tabletop that you can actually maybe attach, you know, so you can have an extended cabinet, a counter, and then you could actually have like a sink, maybe some drawers, maybe a gray water, your stove, maybe some speakers or a radio, but I don't think this is the final design that I'm going to use, but it might be very close to it. But so I'm just kind of taking it one step at a time. Hopefully this helped you out. You know, so it's really gone from this real basic concept into something a little bit more elaborate. So anyways, that's kind of where I stand with that. So I would just, you know, start with something real basic like this, try to figure out what you want, and then start planning it out exactly like I did here. So hopefully that will help somebody. Okay, I'm out.